This is the Absolute. It's a streaming handheld that lets you remote play your consoles and PC in high quality, around $200. But is it worth its price? It's Rob B360. This is not a sponsored video. However, Absolute sent this product to review, so all opinions are my own. So who is the Absolute made for? As the Absolute is designed for remote play and cloud streaming, it's a great add-on for gamers that already own a console or PC and want to expand their gaming experience to anywhere they go. But if you don't own a console or a PC yet, it could also be interesting to play AAA games through cloud gaming. And even though it's not for local gaming, you can even emulate some retro games. By the way, a link will be in the video description. Inside the box you get the Absolute handheld itself, a USB-C charge cable, a protective case and a manual. It has a 7-inch 1080p screen of 60Hz with an sRGB of 103.4%, 8-bit color depth and 1000:1 contrast ratio. The aspect ratio is 16:9 and it has the following dimensions, weight and CPU you can see on screen. It has 4GB of RAM and 64GB of ROM. It has a 5200 mAh battery that gives you about 8 hours of game time for those long gaming sessions. It also has those popular Hall sensors and Hall triggers to ensure durability and avoid drifting issues. It also has a 10-point multi-touchscreen, 64GB of storage, and it also has its own Wi-Fi module, which is optimized to receive a better Wi-Fi signal, which is really important for a remote play device. It also has Bluetooth support, it has dual speakers, and it has a linear Z-axis motor for some extra immersion. It also has a microphone and gyroscope, and its light sensing to automatically adjust the brightness, and it also has a Type-C, 3.5mm and micro SD card slot. It also has a power key and volume buttons, and it has Android 12 pre-installed. The ergonomics are pretty good, as the Absolute has a nice overall size and is pretty light, which makes it great for traveling or moving around the house. For my taste, it could have been a bit more round shaped at the bottom, but they do offer a grip for that on their website. For your first time use, make sure to fully charge the device with the included USB-C cable. And after following the short setup guide after booting, you can see this OS right here, which I actually like, because it's nice and organized and doesn't have any fluff on it. It can feel a bit sluggish at first, but that might be due to Google services updating in the background. After some use, the menu worked a lot smoother. The 1080p screen looks excellent. It's nice and sharp, but also bright and vibrant. The settings menu is pretty basic, as you can set up your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, display and sound settings, and a bit more. But in short, it has pretty much everything you need. There is also an Absolute Essentials tab, which makes installing the most important apps a breeze. Like the Xbox app, Xbox XCloud, PS Remote Play, GeForce Now, Amazon Luna and Moonlight. But you can install your own apps through the Play Store, like I did for example with XB Play and some movie streaming apps like Disney, Netflix and so on. So yes, that also means you can watch movies on it. But let's first take a look at PS Remote Play. After you've logged into PS Remote Play, you can quickly see the PS5's home screen, which looks great. I noticed that it connected really fast and the display looks nice and crisp. It's like a PS Portal, but there are some differences. For example, the PS Portal can only stream your PS5, but the Absolute can also stream your PS4. Furthermore, with the PS Portal, you can log into every Wi-Fi connection, but you can't do that with the Absolute. Another improvement on the Absolute is that you can connect a wired headphone but also use your own Bluetooth headphone, as the PS Portal can only connect with a wired or their own branded headphones. On the other hand, the PS Portal has DualSense features, which any other handheld doesn't have at this time. Furthermore, the sticks and triggers on the Absolute are Hall effect, so they are very durable and the chance of getting stick drift is almost zero. To be honest, the first time I saw the sticks I was a bit hesitant, as they look very similar to the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, which I'm not a big fan of. And I've tried similar sticks on other handhelds, which mostly lack accuracy, but somehow on the Absolute they work very good, which was a pleasant surprise. I have to say the grip on the triggers are nice as well, and they are pretty wide and have a nice travel to them. Same goes for the shoulder buttons that are responding really well, and so do the ABXY buttons. The D-pad does its job, but it's nothing special in my opinion. And furthermore, you have some menu buttons for navigation on the left and right, top and bottom. About the protective case, I love that it's included for free and has these parts on the side to fit the Absolute perfectly while maintaining slim for optimum portability. But let's check out some gameplay clips to see the PS Remote Play's performance. The Spider-Man games have to be some of my favorite modern games, and they look and play absolutely amazing on the Absolute, no pun intended. The screen is crisp and the lag is almost non-existent, and I love the responsiveness of the sticks and buttons. Same goes for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Everything looks nice and sharp and it almost feels like you're gaming natively. And as you can sink a lot of hours in this game, it's great that I can just pick up the Absolute and play it anywhere I want. From Software games are special to me as well. It's very important that you don't have any lag, as you would die in an instant. And I'm glad that I didn't experience this at all. Although for my personal taste the shoulder buttons could be a little bit more wider for this game. Racing games also need a high responsiveness, and that's exactly what I experienced during my time with Gran Turismo. By the way, I think we can all agree how great this game looks, and the graphics translate very well on the Absolute screen. Xbox XCloud is also easy to set up through the Absolute Essentials tab. Personally, I use Xbox XCloud on my Steam Deck, however the screen is 800p as where the Absolute screen is 1080p, which you can definitely notice. But let's take a look at a few Xbox XCloud gameplay clips. Let's start with an online shooter. Even there I didn't notice any lag, which I honestly didn't expect. Of course, these results will depend on your internet connection, but it's great to see that you can have a decent gameplay experience through cloud gaming. I didn't have any issues with the sticks at all, but somehow I did struggle with them during my time with Halo Infinite. Luckily, Absolute offers these thumb grips on their website, and once I applied them, I had less issues with aiming in this game. But overall, the sticks work very well on all games I've tested. An important thing in racing games is the way things sound, and I have to say the dual speakers sound pretty good. Of course, it's not the same as a home theater system, but overall I'm pretty satisfied with them. And you could always connect your own headphones or earpods in case needed. A cool thing about the Absolute is that you can get away from your desk, as you don't have to sit hours in front of your TV or setup. You can just lay in bed, on the couch, or even outside in your backyard, as long as you have a stable internet connection. And if you own a gaming PC, you can stream your games through Moonlight. As mentioned, the Absolute is optimized for streaming, not for local gaming or emulators, but still you can play some Android games and emulators like NES, SNES, GBA, N64, PSP and so on. Just know there is a limit to it. I just want to show you some Super Nintendo gameplay so you can see that the Absolute can emulate these low-end games without any issues. It also looks very good on its 1080p display, and I have to say that I had a great time playing these older games on the Absolute. But again, as a reminder, the Absolute is mainly meant for streaming purposes. But overall, basic emulation worked great. Same goes for Android gaming, which also works pretty good. Just take a look at these gameplay clips. Even though I don't play a lot of Android games, Asphalt 9 Legends is one of my favorites, so I know how this game normally plays. On the Absolute, it looks and feels a bit choppy, but it's playable, and to be fair, it's marketed as a cloud gaming device. But less graphically games like Vampire Survivor run perfectly, and although they work great on a phone as well, the screen on your phone is probably a lot smaller, and your phone's battery will not be drained by gaming if you use a separate device like the Absolute. Does that make any sense? Speaking of, is the Absolute worth the $200? It all depends on your use cases. But if you're struggling to find time to game and share the TV with your partner or kids, or you just wish you could game on the go, and you're looking for an affordable and reliable handheld, and know you got a decent internet connection at your disposal, I would say the Absolute is definitely worth it. Even more so if you compare it with, for example, a PS Portal that costs costs more than $200 and can only stream your PlayStation 5, as where the Absolute can stream pretty much everything and play some Android and retro games at a price around $200. So if you want to pick it up, check out the link in the description. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, and if this video was helpful to you, please like this video and subscribe to this channel, that would be very helpful. Or click here to watch the next video. See you there!